Hi, intrepid viewers. Welcome to the show. This is a quick and dirty before I go to the airport. How good is that sentence? Oh my God. So flying out tonight, and 23 hours and 30 minutes later, I'll be in Athens. Yeah, I bet you're jealous of that trip. Okay, so here we go. A couple of things that are in the pipeline for today, particularly the debt ceiling. But thank you all for getting on the comments and telling me the states that are thinking of not allowing the Yeti on the ballot should he be a convicted criminal at the time. And those states include Michigan, Florida, Colorado, and Alabama. So there may be more. And as another viewer pointed out, if somewhere like California does it as well, it's actually all about the electoral college numbers. And California, I think, has 54 electoral college votes or something. So I thought at first, oh, red state, blue state. But no, it's about the electoral college votes. So this could be very interesting. Meanwhile, the Yeti's been running around saying to anyone who'll listen, if he gets in again, he has no choice but to jail everybody, the whole opposition. Right? Out and out fascism. Yeah, here we go. So I want to look first at, there's a deal that's been brokered in the middle of the night between the US and Iran. It's going to be a prisoner swap, plus releasing $6 billion that the US is holding in frozen assets that belong to Iran. So let's just look at how that's going to go first. US-Iran deal, what's happening there? Oh, my deck's upside down. Okay, Queen of Pentacles, that's going here. Oh, wow. Awesome. These are very big cards. Now, viewers who have been with me for a while will know, and I'm sure you share the sentiment, how wrong sanctions are, because they only affect ordinary people. The oligarchs still have wealthy luxury lifestyles. And so these sanctions that have been put on Iran are really cruel and essentially pointless. It doesn't change the regime. It just punishes people. So let's hope this represents a chink in the bigger story. So yes, money will change hands with this. They get the Lovers, meaning a deal when it's not about romance, it's about pacts and deals. So I think there will be a prisoner swap. Judgment and the Wheel of Fortune. These are big major arcana cards that I think are really important in this context. So the time has come for this to happen. And with these cards that are very positive, I think there's hope for more. I mean, imagine if the embargo was lifted on Cuba, who's been suffering under the embargo for decades. Now, please don't write to me, and if you come from a Cuban family that's pro those embargoes, we're not going to agree on that. So we'll just shake hands and move on from there. Because as I see it, it's now 2 generations later, and everyone would benefit, in my view, including Cubans in the US who could do commercial transactions and so forth. So we'll just leave that one there. Okay, so let's have a look. Before we get to the debt ceiling, Trump's announced his tax plan. Now, he would not have thought of a tax plan. I don't think he's been responsible for it, but this is what he's going to roll out. So, of course, it's more corporate welfare. Let's reduce corporate tax. He wants to reduce corporate tax from 21% to 15%. Biden wants to raise it from 21 up to 28. Well, what I'd say about that is good luck to both sides, because what's more important is making them comply. It almost doesn't matter what the corporate tax rate is if they don't pay it. Hello. So let's see. Oh no, whether the Dems will do anything about enforcing the tax rate. So I think they tried, and of course they get stopped. Let's have a look. The corporate tax rate. Will it be a deal breaker? Now that's a better question. Will it be a deal breaker in the election? Will business rally to Trump just because he's offering another tax cut? That's a better question. Okay, let's have a look. Tax in the election. Here we go with this. 1, 2, 3. 3 majors again. Okay, let's check this out. So in the middle, this is the Empress, who is about supporting people and nourishing people and so forth. So I think this is going forward into 2024, into the campaign cycle. I think the Dems could be talking about this. Underneath that, there's the Death card. And also we've got the Knight of Pentacles, the mercenary, and the Death card. It's like nobody's listening. This is the problem. It actually impacts everyone's life, but people just go la, 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 and don't want to talk about the economy for real. They want to talk about the economy in micro, which is understandable. How does it affect my hip pocket? Okay, this is the nuts and bolts of the economy, but not the big picture. And this is suggesting to me that the American economy is struggling a bit. But the outcome card is the Sun. So I think with the Dems, it will have some ignition. You know, I don't think with these cards, business America is going to really back him, because business flourishes in a stable country, not in an unstable one led by the Yeti. So I don't think this is big corporations wanting to treat their workers or even their customers any better. It's about buttering their own bread. But I don't think there's going to be a big swing to the Republicans because of this. Okay, let's hope about that. In other news, auto workers for the big 3 companies are threatening to go out en masse. This hasn't happened in decades. At the end of the week, they're fighting, of course, for decent pay, but I think also they're looking at the end game here as electric vehicles come on board. It's what I was just saying about home manufacturing, right? Okay, step back, Lena. Trump is going to justify these tax cuts, as conservatives always do, and introduce a 10% tariff on every imported item. Okay, now stay with me. What does that mean? Well, the price of everything goes up, obviously, but it also runs the risk of a tit-for-tat trade war. You remember when he tried it before, and the soya bean farmers and the people who harvest pigs and so forth, all lost their livelihood virtually overnight and struggled a lot. That was because of tariffs. And the problem is these ideas only work if you genuinely are pumping money in to expand manufacturing in the US, to expand these things for real, not just at a rally while the village people are playing, even though they've asked him not to play it. He's still playing it, apparently. So this is a problem facing the world, because during Thatcher and Reagan, we had neoliberal economics, which was about breaking the back of the working class, weaken unions, weaken labour laws, get the 7-year-old blind children in Bangladesh to make your T-shirts and you can get them for $5. This is when that all happened. Collapse of blue-collar industries and the seduction of cheap offshore goods. So it's a bigger problem that goes way back, and it's not going to be helped until there's bigger radical solutions. Okay. So now, it's enough about that, Lena. All right, the debt ceiling. Will the Congress GOPites, will they manage to cause a shutdown? Because I'm sure they think that's a good idea. So will they cause a shutdown? They've been threatening. Okay. All right. Yeah, these are not good cards if you don't want to shut down. Okay, so we've got the 5 of Cups, loss and regret. So that's over the reading, meaning they don't care who suffers. Okay, but we knew that. Now, things will happen quite quickly, and we have the impulsive Knight. We've got the impulsive Page. Okay, so it's that short-term thinking that they do. I'm talking about the Marjorie Taylor Greens and others. They don't care about burning the house down. Now, there is a Knight of Wands here who's a much more reasonable knight. See how he's pulling the horse back and having a look. What would happen? So there will be some voices in the Republicans begging them by the end, begging them to not do this. But I don't think they've got the loudest voices. I think they will still force a shutdown. Love to be wrong, and we will see. Okay, but the voices here, it might even be McCarthy trying to rein them in. Speaking of, let's see, because we all saw the circus when he was elected. That was so crazy. What was it, 15 rounds of voting or something? Will McCarthy lose his gavel over this? Will the shutdown force McCarthy out? Will the shutdown, if it happens, force McCarthy out? Oh. Wow. Let's look at McCarthy here. Okay. Okay. Wow, 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 wow. Goodness me. This is kind of amazing. I'm not sure what I think of this. You can share with me, viewers, in the comments what you think of these cards. Okay, first one, not mysterious. Okay. Now, remember, if you're learning tarot, the Knight of Pentacles is normally the stable, loyal, hardworking knight. But because we've done thousands of these political readings, it's now the card of everyone for themselves, people taking money, selling their souls, the mercenary. But here come the big ones. The world, the magician, and miraculously here, I decided to keep the two worlds in this deck because I was interested, how often would you get two of the same cards come up? So look at this, the double world. So let's just take a moment. Now, yes, of course, everyone everywhere is forced to take notice of what's happening in America because it's so massively influential despite everything, including recent bad behavior. Okay, now, see that green wreath? It's the end of a major cycle and the beginning of being born again on some level, resurrecting the economy perhaps on some level. So the magician is this McCarthy. I was talking about McCarthy. Is he able to pull it off? Card of manifestation, transformation. Surprisingly, I think he's either going to pull it off at the time, although I still stand by what I just said. I think they will force a shutdown, but he might be able to whip them into line. How astonishing. But I'm still buzzing on the two world cards. I made a decision not to take one out, and here we go. It's massive. And just take an extra moment. These are the celestial creatures leading this figure. So we have the angel and the eagle and the bull and the lion. And so these are all huge energies working on this issue. So maybe they've only got, what, a 5-person majority. Maybe he's able to do some backroom dealing. How intriguing. But in the meantime, if you are susceptible to, missing payments, either as a federal worker or because you're on Social Security, can people let me know, please, what happens with Social Security if there is a shutdown? Is there a buffer? Surely people aren't cut off at the knees. There must be some sort of buffer in place. But it does raise the bigger issue. No other country does this. There is no reason for America to keep doing this thing that takes 6 months of every year to sort out the money again. And just imagine if the Dems got on the front foot. Can you imagine? And they actually said, these people are prepared to do anything to stop money getting to the American people. They are not interested in infrastructure that affects normal Americans. Just go for it, All right, guys. The next time I see you, it will be from the magnificent city of Athens. So you guys take care. Talk to me in the comments. I'll get back to you. Ciao.